Let me ask you something real quick. What would you do if you found out your fiancé was cheating? At your wedding rehearsal, in front of 80 people, with the one person you trusted more than anyone else. Because that's exactly where I was standing heels sinking into a rented church floor, smiling for photos, when my phone vibrated, and my entire life blew up in 5 seconds. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't run. I did something much worse. I was standing at the front of the room, next to my fiancé man everyone called the perfect husband. His parents were in the front row. My mom was crying happy tears. My best friend, that best friend was laughing 2 feet behind me. Fixing my veil, then my phone buzzed. I almost ignored it. Almost, but something in my chest tightened. That quiet, ugly instinct you only get right before your world ends. I glanced down. Unknown number. One message. One attachment. The text said, "You deserve to know before you marry him." I tapped the video. It loaded slowly, painfully slow. Then there it was, my fiancé half-dressed, laughing, and right there with him pressed against his chest, kissing his neck, whispering his name like she owned. It was my best friend, not an old clip, not blurry, not fake. The time stopped 2 nights ago. I swear the room tilted. The laughter around me went muffled, like I was underwater. My heart didn't break, it dropped. This wasn't a random hookup. This wasn't a drunk mistake. That this was comfortable, practiced, intimate, the kind of intimacy that only comes from repetition. And suddenly, every weird moment flashed through my head. The late-night work texts, their inside jokes. I was never part of the way. They always seemed to be standing a little too close. I looked up. My fiancé smiled at me. Wide confidence. He had no idea I knew. How long has this been going on? Who else knew? Was I the joke or the obstacle? And the real question, the one that still makes people gasp when I tell this story, what did I do next? With 80 people watching, because I didn't confront him. Not yet. I slid my phone into my pocket, took his hand, and smiled back. But right then I made a decision that would ruin both of their lives forever. And to understand why I chose revenge over tears. Why did I let the wedding rehearsal continue? Like nothing was wrong. I need to take you back to the very beginning, to the relationship everyone thought was perfect. You never looked back and realized all the signs were there, but your brain refused to see them. That was me. And let me tell you what everyone else called the perfect couple. It was a lie. A really, really convincing lie. Me, hopelessly in love, naive, thinking I picked the right person for life. Fiancé, let's call him Jake. Charming, funny, everybody's favorite. Could walk into a room and light it up. Best friend Sam, my ride-or-die, someone I trusted like family. Always had my back. Or so I thought. Other side characters, my parents, Jake's parents, co-workers, everyone in our small circle, they all saw us as the dream couple. No one suspected a thing. Jake and I met on a dating app, the normal way in 2019. First coffee, first date, sparks. A few months later, he moved in. By year 2, we were meeting parents. Year 3, proposal. Everything looked perfect. Everyone thought it was a fairy tale. I thought so too. Now looking back, here's what I should have noticed. Inside jokes, those little things between Jake and Sam that I wasn't included in. I thought it was cute. At the time, late night work texts, Jake always claimed it was his project. Sam always helping. Sometimes I'd walk in, and they'd jump apart, laughing like nothing was wrong. Overlapping hobbies, hiking, video games, the same shows. I never questioned it. Looking back, the signs were all there. Every single one of them. In public, Jake was dreamy. He wrote me cute notes, took me to dinner, introduced me as his forever. Sam was my confidant. Always around, always supportive. I trusted them both blindly, and everyone said, "You two are so lucky." But luck has a funny way of hiding the truth. One time, I found them in the living room, laughing at some meme. I walked in, they froze. Just froze. Then laughed it off like nothing happened. I should have asked questions. I should have noticed the tension, but I didn't. And that small, naive decision set the stage for the most gut-wrenching betrayal of my life. Because here's the thing, Jake wasn't just busy. He was changing. And Sam wasn't just my best friend. He was hiding something too. The first cracks started showing. Built lies, little secrets, and one moment that would make me doubt everything I ever believed about the people I loved. Do you think it's safe to trust the person you love most? Think again. Trust was the exact weapon they used to destroy me. You never feel like you're living in a dream, and the dream is actually a nightmare. That's exactly how it felt when wedding planning hit full speed. I kept telling myself, he's my fiancé, my best friend is helping, everything's fine. But deep down, something was off. And then I overheard them laughing in the other room. I froze. The laugh wasn't casual. It was secretive. It was a sound I knew I shouldn't hear, but couldn't stop listening to. Every weekend was booked. Cake tasting, dress fittings, seating charts. I should have been excited. I should have felt love. Instead, I felt invisible. My fiancé's distant and private, too tired for hugs, too busy for my calls. But around everyone else, charming, perfect, like nothing was wrong. And the best friend, always helping with wedding plans, suddenly indispensable. I kept asking myself, why do I feel like I'm the last person in this relationship? One evening, I walked into the living room, unexpectedly. They jumped apart like teenagers caught, sneaking candy, laughing nervously, trying to cover their phones. I smiled, pretending I didn't notice, but the seed of suspicion grew into obsession. Then came the bachelor-bachelorette party. My fiancé insisted that my best friend organize it. He kept me completely out of the loop. I nodded, forced a smile, pretending it was normal. Inside, I was screaming. Curiosity overtook me. I logged into the shared tablet we used for planning. That's when I found it. A hidden folder named innocuous stuff, photos, archived chats. I wasn't supposed to see hotel confirmations for two people without me. It hit me like a punch. This wasn't just flirting. This was organized, planned, calculated, and in my gut, I knew the bachelor-bachelorette weekend would expose it all. I told myself I was overthinking until the weekend came, because the minute I found out I wasn't invited to certain parts of the trip, and their locations suddenly went dark on my phone, I realized this wasn't just a betrayal. This was a disaster waiting to explode. And trust me, the proof they left behind is going to make your jaw drop. Ever get that gut feeling? The one screaming something's wrong, and you try to ignore it, but it turns out your instincts were done. That's exactly what happened when the weekend arrived. My fiancé and best friend insisted it was tradition that I sit out part of the bachelor-bachelorette events. I should have been excited. Instead, my chest tightened. My phone felt like a lead weight in my pocket, and I knew something was off. I tried to act normal, laugh, sip my drink, make small talk. Meanwhile, my fiancé's phone location kept going dark at random times. My best friend was busy organizing, while sneaking glances at their own phone. Friends whispered behind closed doors small comments that felt strange. Every instinct. I had screamed, check their phones, but I held back. I wanted proof, undeniable proof. Then it happened. A drunk cousin, oblivious to the chaos, accidentally sent me a group chat photo. I froze in the pic. My fiancé's laughing shirt, unused tech. My best friend, hands all over him, lips too close. A hotel room background, a timestamp, the night before. It wasn't blurry. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't a misunderstanding. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. Nausea, disbelief, rage, all at once. I stared at the phone, shaking, couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. I called my fiancé. Where are you? I asked, trying to sound casual. His voice, calm, smooth, lies, just out with the guys. Tradition. I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront him on the spot, but I didn't. Instead, I did something much more dangerous. I decided not to confront, not yet. I would gather every single piece of evidence first. I'd prove the betrayal beyond doubt. Because by the time this weekend ended, they wouldn't just be guilty. They'd be exposed in front of everyone they cared about. And that's when the spiral of discovery really started. The detective phase that turned a normal bride into someone unrecognizable, where the real horror unfolds. Hidden accounts, secret hotel stays, and the wedding rehearsal bombshell that would leave everyone speechless. After that weekend, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't even pretend like everything was normal. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that photo. I knew what I had to do. I became a detective, a bride on a mission, and I wasn't stopping until I had every single piece of proof. I went through everything, shared accounts, emails, calendars, cloud storage, hidden folders, hotel confirmations, receipts, old phones, archived messages that disappeared from normal view. It was worse than I imagined. I found hotel bookings under both their names. Paid with our joint account, explicit messages, emojis that left nothing to doubt, videos hidden in the cloud folder, timestamps perfectly lining up with work trips, every innocent trip, every work emergency, every late night call, all lies. And here's the part that makes people gasp. They had used our wedding planning as a cover. Every hotel stay, every secret rendezvous, every excuse about deposits, guest lists, and vendor calls. Just a facade for their affair. They weren't sloppy, they were meticulous. And I had been living in a perfect illusion. I realized the affair had been going on for years, probably before the proposal. I couldn't stop shaking. I couldn't let them get away with this, so I did what any sane, betrayed person would do. I collected every piece of evidence I backed. It up in a secret folder. I sent copies to a trusted sibling, a friend I knew I could trust. Then I made a choice. I'm not canceling the rehearsal. I'm turning it into their worst nightmare. Rehearsal day arrived. Everyone was there. Family, friends, in-laws, me, best friend, smiling, blissfully unaware of what I knew. Fiancé, confident, perfect. And then my phone buzzed. One notification, another twist I never saw coming. And that's when I realized the story was going to get even worse before it ended. Fiancé and best friend meet their reckoning in front of everyone. The meltdown, the chaos, the reactions, nothing will prepare you for it. Everyone was standing there, perfectly dressed, smiling, pretending this was a day of joy. But I knew the truth, and I had a choice. I could stay quiet, act like nothing happened, or I could go nuclear. And at that moment, I chose nuclear. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Another video. This one made my blood run cold. My fiancé wasn't just cheating with my best friend. There was more evidence, extra photos, private messages. Someone had been watching. Someone else was helping me see the full truth. I knew I couldn't wait. I couldn't let them spin lies. Not here, not now. I cleared my throat. Everyone stopped. The chatter faded. There will be no wedding. I projected my voice, calm but deadly serious. And then I started reading messages aloud, showing videos and photos, displaying hotel confirmations and receipts. Fiancé's smile faded. My best friend froze mid-step. They tried to talk, to explain, but it was useless. Every lie, every excuse, every manipulation laid bare for everyone to see. The room exploded. My best friend's partner stormed out in tears and anger. My fiancé's parents cried, apologizing, hugging me. Friends whispered, mouths open in shock. The family tried to process, some in disbelief, some furious. Fiancé's charm gone, best friend's smugness, shadowed, and me. I was standing there, emotionally untouchable, finally free from the lies. And every single person who mattered now knew the truth. But the fallout didn't end there. And the best part, Carmel didn't just come for them. It devastated them completely. The rehearsal meltdown wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a chain reaction that none of us could have predicted. Deposits were lost, guests were confused, and social media exploded. Everyone took sides. Some friends posted subtle comments, others shared screenshots. Even co-workers whispered at the office. It was chaos, and I loved every second of it. Best friend's partner, gone. Fiancé's reputation destroyed. Both were scrambling, trying to explain themselves, but the proof, the undeniable, concrete proof, was everywhere. Their friends started questioning everything. Even their families couldn't ignore it. The people who once cheered for their perfect love story were now laughing at the ruins. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse for them, I discovered they'd tried to take out a secret joint loan for their secret dates. Fiancé had made plans to continue the affair even after the wedding. In some of the hidden chats, there were shocking hints of other betrayals I never imagined. Every lie, every manipulation, every attempt to cover it up backfired spectacularly. Fiancé and best friend turned on each other, arguing, breaking up, trying to salvage what they could, but it was too late. Friendships destroy, jobs subtly affected by the scandal, social circles divided, and the people they hurt the most laughing at the irony as they faced the truth. It was satisfying, vindictive, and perfect. And me, I healed. Slowly but surely, therapy helped. I found new hobbies, maybe even a new healthy relationship on the horizon. I learned to trust my gut, to see red flags, to know when to act and how to act. Now, I want to ask you, what would you have done at that rehearsal? Do you think I went too far? Or not? Far enough? Could you survive that level of betrayal without exploding? Comment your thoughts below. Share your story. And if you want another unbelievable betrayal story, click on the next video, because this is why I still call it the most unbelievable cheating story I've ever lived through. I still remember standing there after all the chaos, the echo of my own voice reading the truth to everyone. The adrenaline had faded. The embarrassment, the shock, the betrayal, it was all behind me. And yet, the lesson stuck. I learned, trust your gut. Those little instincts, they're usually right. Red flags aren't the coincidences. Ignoring them costs you more than heartbreak. Revenge isn't about cruelty, it's about reclaiming control. I also learned something harder. Even in the worst betrayal, you can come back stronger, wiser, and unshakable. So let me ask you, straight up, what would you have done at that rehearsal? Would you have waited like I did? Or confronted them immediately? Could you have held it together like I did? Or would you have expedited? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Your story might inspire someone else to stand up for themselves. Watch another crazy betrayal story. Click the next video to see another jaw-dropping true story. Subscribe for more unbelievable true stories. Don't miss the next viral scandal. Share your own story in the comments. You never know whose eyes you'll open. And that's why I still call this the most unbelievable cheating story I've ever lived through. Every lie, every betrayal, every shocking twist, all of it real, all of it unforgettable.